Good afternoon, everyone. Okay, so how many of us have lived in Lagos? But however, if we haven't lived in Lagos, I'm sure we would have heard stories about Lagos, right? And the complexity of the city. Okay, so in the year 1987, a group of academicians from the renowned University of Lagos carried out a research. And the research revealed that Lagos is a city that people living in the city never sleeps. They are always on their toes. And they are always in constant hustle and bustle. And at the same time, having to navigate the difficulties associated with the city. Okay? I'm sure some people will disagree with this. And even some of us here will disagree with these studies that was carried out. But however, this is the reality of a lot of people living in Lagos and their experiences. My name is Gladys Osegale, and I am here to share my story with you guys. I'm here to share my story with you about my experience in Lagos. I spent over 18 years in Lagos, and for that period, I called Lagos my home. And I mean, for the number of years I spent in Lagos, I can categorically tell you that I am a Lagosian from my heart. Okay? For the period I was in Lagos, I had to adjust to the complexity of the city. And I also had to adapt to navigating its difficulties. I also had to learn to thrive in the difficult city, dealing with the traffic jam that will test your patience, and the touts you find everywhere, and the agberos as well, and even the women selling on the road that are very, very upset and tired of, whatever it is they are doing, to the hoodlums on the streets, to the petty thieves, to the kidnappers, and all of that insecurity issues. But still, a lot of us still decided to live in Lagos despite all of this we encountered. One experience that remained in my mind was when, one evening, on my way home from the office, on the popular Third Mainland Bridge, the evening traffic was moving slowly, and my colleagues and I were together in a car, and we wound up the glass. We decided to listen to cool music that evening while we were stuck in the traffic. Suddenly, a group of hoodlums appeared, and they appeared in mass, and they were armed with cutlasses, they were armed with knives, they were armed with broken bottles, sticks, and all of that dangerous weapons. At that point, our hearts were in our mouths. Next we saw was that they hit the glass. They hit the glass with heavy stones and with sticks. But miraculously, the glass did not break. While this was on, we knew not exactly what to do at that point, but we were all terrified at the happenings. And we kept moving slowly because the traffic was still on at that time. And finally, the hoodlums moved past us, and we moved past the scene of the traffic. While we were in the car, still riding home, one of us bopped up and said, "Thank God the glass did not break." And another person screamed and said, "Thank God that none of us fainted while the attack was on." And we all laughed together. Lagos can be a very difficult city, but I can tell you that there are endless possibilities in Lagos. And having to thrive and survive in that kind of a city enables you to have access to some of those endless possibilities. 3 lessons I learned from that experience is that, firstly, when driving in Lagos, it's not, because I didn't get to that point, I was going to get to that point. Yeah. It's not advisable to expose your valuables, because that's what attracts the hoodlums. Secondly, when being attacked by the bad guys, it's always advisable to keep your cool, irrespective of what is being thrown at you. Then thirdly, as much as you can, it's advisable to navigate them while they are attacking you. Thank you.